When they found me, they were certain I wasn't going to survive. To be honest, I thought the same thing. But what happened in the days that followed became one of the most extraordinary survival stories in history. My name is Hugh Glass, and this is the true story of that day. It was the year 1823. I was traveling through the wild lands along the Missouri River with a group of fur trappers. We had been far from the nearest settlement for weeks. In those lands, there were no roads, no doctors to help you, and no law to protect you. If you got hurt, you had to save yourself. If you died, nature would forget you quickly. That morning began like any other. The campfire was still barely alive, and a thin layer of mist covered the ground. Fitzgerald was sitting beside the fire, cutting a piece of dried meat with his knife. When he saw me, he smiled and said, "Hugh, if we don't find something worthwhile in the next few days, I think we're going to have to start hunting each other." I laughed and replied, "Don't worry, John. If things get that bad, we'll start with you." A few of the men laughed. Even young Jim Bridger, who was usually quiet, cracked a smile. None of us knew how distant those laughs would feel only a few hours later. After a small breakfast, we got moving again. The farther we traveled, the stronger the feeling became that something wasn't right. Around midday, I drifted away from the group, something I had done countless times before. After a few hundred yards, I noticed that an unusual silence had settled over everything. No animals rustling through the brush. Then I saw a paw print in the dirt, a large one, a very large one. I knelt down to examine it. The track was fresh, so fresh that the edges hadn't even begun to crumble. At that moment, a strong animal scent reached me, the smell of a large creature that had spent time nearby. I lifted my head and saw them. 2 bear cubs. My heart sank. Every hunter knows this rule. If you see the cubs, their mother is close, very close. I slowly began backing away. I didn't want to scare them. I only wanted to leave quietly and return to the group. But I had barely taken a few steps when I heard something breathing behind me. A heavy breath, deep, and so close that every hair on my body stood on end. Slowly, I turned around, and there she was, a grizzly bear, no more than a few yards away. I had seen bears before, but this one was different. She was enormous. Her broad shoulders looked like boulders beneath her dark fur, and her eyes were fixed on me without blinking. For a few seconds, neither of us moved. Then the bear rose onto her hind legs, and in that moment, I realized it was already too late to run. My hand reached for my rifle, but before I could bring it up, the bear charged. People think large bears move slowly. They don't. When an angry grizzly charges at you, it's like watching a living avalanche rushing straight toward you. The first impact lifted me off my feet and slammed me into the ground. All the air exploded from my lungs, and for a few seconds, I couldn't breathe at all. My rifle flew from my hands and landed somewhere beyond my sight. I tried to get up, but the bear gave me no chance. Her massive weight crashed down on me, and her paws came at me with terrifying force. Every strike felt like an axe chopping into a tree. I threw my arms up to protect my face. It was a mistake. A violent pain shot through my arm, and I felt something break. The bear roared. She was so close that I could smell her breath, the smell of blood, the smell of meat, the smell of death. Every time I thought the attack was over, another blow came crashing down. Then suddenly the bear pulled her head back. For a brief moment, I thought it was over. The next instant, she came down on me again with all her weight, and the world spun around me. My eyes were filled with blood and dirt, and I could barely see anything. That's when I heard something for the first time. Voices, far away, very far away, and then a gunshot. For a moment, everything stopped.